Today, we're going to be talking about finding a special location for stillness and meditation. Why is finding a special location so important? For one, it says you're taking this seriously. You mean business. And I also think that it helps to train your mind to go in a meditative state, because once you get in your location and you're seated, positioned, your mind says, okay, it's time to meditate. Let's get down to it. We have special locations for things like our workout rooms. We have special locations for our crafts rooms. And many of us today are working from home and we have a home office. So we already understand the importance of having a designated area for certain things that we do, whether it's work, fitness, or hobbies. Well, we need a designated area in which to meditate. It doesn't necessarily mean that that area is exclusively what we do there, but that we have a set place where we know we're going to go and meditate. You want the space to be quiet as you can get it. And I know today it's not always easy to get a perfectly quiet space, but we want to try to find a relatively quiet space. One thing you can do when a space is not quiet or not as quiet as you would like, or for whatever reason your normally quiet space has become less quiet. There's also times where you're on vacation and the area just may not be as quiet. You may be in a hotel room with other people. One thing you can use is noise canceling headphones. And I do use them from time to time. They're not my ideal position to be in. I generally like to not wear headphones, but they are an option. And what you can do is you can listen to your meditation music through your headphones. You want to find a comfortable location in which to meditate, a space that feels comfortable to you. If you get the kind of person that's bothered by a lot of clutter, or if the room is too busy, it's distracting, that's probably not going to be a good place for you to meditate. So you want to try to find a reasonably comfortable location. In terms of seating, every time you see meditation pictured, it seems like the person's on the floor meditating. I personally recommend that you find seating where you have some kind of backing. It's my personal preference. I've meditated on the floor with no backing. I find it to be not very comfortable. You can experiment for yourself. Maybe you like to meditate on the floor with no backing, but I'm sure many of you, like me, will find that having some kind of backing to support you is going to be more comfortable. Now, you do want your seating to be comfortable, but you don't want it to be so comfortable that you're going to fall asleep. You can meditate in an easy chair, or some kind of comfortable chair is good. You can meditate lying down on a bed, but again, you have to be careful not to fall asleep. And if you find that you fall asleep too easy, maybe meditating lying down right now is not the best option. I have been meditating lying down for about the past year now, and it works well for me. But probably when I first started meditating, it wouldn't have been the best option. I probably would have fallen asleep. So you may want to factor that in as you're starting to meditate, that you might want to be seated somewhat upright, possibly in an easy chair of some sort in which to meditate. In terms of where your legs need to be. They could be flat down. You can cross them if you want, whatever feels comfortable. I tend to like to sit more cross-legged, and that's my personal choice. Some people are really against that, but I find it to be personally more comfortable. Most people probably would just have their feet sitting normally. Put your hands in your lap or to the side. Try to find out which one is more comfortable for you. I generally just have my hands to the side, but you may want to put them in your lap or fold them. Experiment with what feels comfortable for you in terms of your own seating. Alternatives and seasonal locations. I do recommend that you have at least one alternative place to meditate, because there may be times where your usual meditation spot is not available. I do recommend having a main meditation spot because, like we said, that trains your mind to go in a meditative state. But it's always good to have an alternative space. If your space is not available, your normal space, or sometimes you might want to just mix it up occasionally, just go to a different location, and that's fine. You can do that. Another area where you might need an alternative location is where you're somewhere else. If you're on vacation or staying at someone else's house, you may want to try to spot an alternative location that's going to work for you. In terms of seasonal locations, you might meditate outside. You might meditate in a porch swing or something like that, but you do have to bear in mind where you live. Because if you pick a seasonal location and you live in a cold place like where I live in Montana, obviously meditating outside is in the winter is not going to be ideal. So you do have to factor that in. So you can have a seasonal place to meditate, but bear in mind when you'll be able to meditate there when choosing that location.